Welcome to my first tutorial. In this tutorial, it's going to be consisted of two parts. The first part is me making the synth. This is what the synth sounds like originally. Okay, now here's the synth with the kick. Okay, let's get started with the synth. I'm using a plugin called Zebra2 right here. And basically there's a piano roll that you can put notes on, which makes it the melody like this. You can put in some notes. Okay, and this is what the score looks like for that song. I'm gonna open it up right now. Alright, this is what it sounds like. The original synth without any editing. Okay, now I'm gonna route it to channel 1. This is channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and so on. This is the mixer. With the mixer, you can basically mix the tracks, make them sound louder or lower, and make it sound better by adding effects with this slot right here. There's 8 slots. That means you can put 8 effects on it. Alright, let's get started. I'm gonna edit the track as it plays and just tell you what I'm doing. I'm gonna add 11 voices because it makes it sound bigger. And then I'm gonna detune it like that. It already sounds good. Let's add some release so it sounds longer on the tail end. Actually, first off, every time you start with an oscillator, oh, by the way, the oscillator is a generator that makes the waveforms, or the synth. And this is what the waveform looks like. It's a sawtooth right now for oscillator 1. Basically, I'm going to change it into a square wave. This makes it sound more mellow and bigger. That's the square wave, and here's the saw wave in comparison. Square wave, sawtooth. Sounds a lot different. Alright, now I'm gonna add another octave so it sounds even bigger. This is what the original sounds like. You can hear that square wave in it. I'm going to add a second oscillator, basically a second generator, at a higher octave. 11 voices. And then I'm going to pitch it up another octave. 12 semitones. Right here, 12. And then I'm going to detune it. Okay. Time to add a third one. I'm gonna add all 4. 12 semitones. It makes it another octave. And for the third oscillator, I'm gonna make it a square wave, just like the first one. like that. Alright, let's see how it sounds. See? There's a big difference now. It's starting to sound like it. Alright, let's add a fourth one so it sounds even bigger. This time, I'm adding 24 semitones. That equals 2 octaves higher than the first one, than the original. Detune it. And then I'm gonna stack them right here. Gotta stack it like this. I want to hear more of the square wave, so I'm gonna bring that out more. What I'm basically doing is just clicking on the mixer right here. There's 4 mixers for each oscillator, and oscillator 1 and 3 are the square waves, and I want to hear that more rather than a sawtooth. And if you want to make it sound even crisper, you can add white noise to it. Right here. And here's the volume, you can adjust it. You can hear that it sounds brighter, more crisp. I'm gonna make it so that you can hear the the square more. Alright, I think that's pretty good for now. Alright, let's add some reverb. This makes it sound like it's in a large hall or a concert. Without the reverb, and with it. You can add delay too. This makes it sound even bigger. As in bigger, it means it's has more depth, rather than sounding weak and small. Add some delay right here. Turn up the volume of the delay and add reverb on top of that. You might not hear much difference, but it makes a huge difference actually. Okay, about routing, we're gonna route this to channel 1 right there. Right here's the effects, different channels you can select. I'm going to select the first one right here. And about editing each slot for the track that you route it to, you can do anything from making it higher shelf, add some even more reverb, and all of that good stuff. Alright, I'm going to add an equalizer. I'm going to give it a higher shelf so it sounds even brighter. I'm going to add a second equalizer. Basically, an equalizer, it brings out the frequencies of each band. There's like a low band, middle, and high, or you can call it shelf. Here's what it sounds like for each one. I'm gonna add it for the high shelf. And since we're going to add the kick, which is in a low frequency, I'm going to cut out the low frequency. Put a low pass filter right here. Basically, the shaded, the white area right here is what you're basically hearing. And outside of it, you don't hear that. Alright, it already sounds good. Now we can add some stereo effect to it. This makes it sound wide. Where is it? Alright, right here. Stereo enhancer. You can dial it plus or negative. I'm going to dial it plus so it sounds wider. I think that's pretty good, but we can add even more reverb to it to make it sound massive. Right here. This is basically changing the room size of the reverb. I'm going to change it so that it's kind of in the middle, right here. I'm going to turn it up right here. Alright, that's the end of part 1, how to make your synth.